Newman.
And they drive him all the way back to the 26-yard line. 18-yard loss for Sam, the man who used to be on the Fan.
You guys already talked about, we already have 3 sacks on Sam Darnold.
On first down, Darnold sacked again! Make it 4, Ben Lieber, and the ball came out. Sam fumbled again. Vikings football for Sam Darnold, his 15th give this season. And the Minnesota Vikings have taken the ball from Seattle. It'll be first down from the Seattle 13.
It'll blow your mind now.
It's 4th and 1. Snap. Roseman rolls out to the right. He's in trouble. He's going to throw the ball up, and it's picked off. Awful decision by Max Brosmer, and this is going to be a defensive touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks. It's Ernest Jones, the 4th, with the first touchdown of his career, and Seattle has taken a 9-0 lead. Max Brosmer falling to the field, decided to underhand it to absolutely nobody except Ernest Jones, and he's going to go the distance for the first touchdown of the game. Seattle has taken a 9-0 lead. It'll be a pick 6 of right around 85 yards. 19-0 Seattle, a minute 10 and counting to go in the third quarter. First and 10 from the Seattle 45. Max Brosmer, play action, straight trot, good protection. Throws over the middle, intercepted. He overthrew Jalen Naylor. And the Seattle Seahawks have picked off Max Brosmer at the 21-yard line. It's Kobe Bryant, 4th year from Cincinnati with his 3rd pick this season. And Seattle has a 19-0 lead and gets the ball.
And to this day, my ass still shakes. Just cram and jam on the ram and get on stage and press play in front of all them fans. No way.
Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Buffalo Wild Wings Savage, good morning. And, welcome to the Friday football. You still got some feast in you from 4 to 8. 4 and 8, ladies and gentlemen.
Good juice.
Oh, yes, good juice. Ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wells, engineer extraordinaire. Round of applause. Ashley and Haley representing Nick Madden's street team. Devin Ward guides the Great Chip Love Covenant from FM 100.3 KFAN. And from The Athletic and theathletic.com, one of the Friday Football Feast co-hosts. Can we get a witness and a raucous round of applause for Alec Lewis, ladies and gentlemen? And from 9 to noon in Vikings fan line, Eric Nordquist. He's Nordo. And we welcome you to the Friday Football Feast. Alec, Alec,
Hey, Paul.
what's a wonderful kid from Alabama like you doing in a snowy state like this? And good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's unbelievable out there. Like, I was real worried. I don't really know how to do the brakes. If my parents knew,
How to do the break?
I don't know. If my
stopping short at stoplights?
it's a tough time right now. 4 and 8 radio, the weather out there. You're just
downers.
yeah, as much as you can get through day by day, week to week. That's the challenge. But if my parents saw my driving strategy amid what's going on out there, I might be pulled back down to Alabama.
Give it a
it's-
year or two.
It's rough. You're
You're going to have one of those stud parked F-150s out there just parked right in a row a year from now, my boy.
Slowing everybody down for 5 minutes, backing into your spot.
Yeah, if anyone is going to drive a Ford F-150, you can imagine it being me, the very nerd with the glasses up here.
Well, it's also appropriate and good that your father's a lawyer. So, therefore, you learning to negotiate the roads and the streets and the highways and the byways of the Twin Cities, having a father as a lawyer, I think that probably could get you out of a couple of jams.
No, it's not. It couldn't get me. It's gotten me out of a couple of jams. This is not present. This would be past tense. But yeah, it's necessary at all times, and I'm fortunate. But like even for him, there's only so much grace he's going to be giving me with my driving.
Which would you rather negotiate? The roads on a day like today,
Or the season
or the
like
quarterback conversation?
I think I don't know.
Let's hit the roads, right?
The roads might be worth. At least you're active. You feel like you got control over the situation. The quarterback situation, you feel like you're just a bystander to it all. So I don't know. If you guys want to talk about posture, base, balance, body position,
It's all gone.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's all done.
It's over.
Yeah, the whole thing's done. Now it's just
Go rip it.
As Nordo cleverly sang 9 to noon yesterday, JJ's free balling.
That was good. I heard that.
So we're gonna be free balling this weekend. The word jam has come into the equation early, trying to get Alec Lewis out of some metaphorical jam. The Minnesota Vikings absolutely have backed themselves into a jam at 4 and 8. So let's try a couple of things before we try to get all analytical and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings are 4 and 8. They've lost 4 consecutive games and haven't scored a touchdown for 8 consecutive quarters. How many people at Buffalo Wild Wings Savage still deeply love Minnesota Vikings football? Can I get a witness? Only the strong survive is what they say. All right. Now, if you happen to be at the palatial purple paradise known as U.S. Bank Stadium this weekend, and the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox, Alan Roach, the voice of U.S. Bank Stadium, if he were to hit the microphone and bellow throughout the stadium, something like this, what would your reaction be? And be straight, be honest. If it were like this: at quarterback, number 9, J.J. McCarthy. I love you. Oh, we love you. Wow.
Hard times create strong people.
I didn't hear a single boo.
The strongest
I didn't at all.
people. These fans are the strong.
You have to be.
I feel beyond. Like, I always have appreciation, and I'm not just saying this. Like, these fans go through the fire, and they just somehow keep coming out.
Well, the word jam was
Now I'm
mentioned earlier, as we mentioned.
Unbelievable.
What a fine jam this team has backed itself into. The announcer, the host of Fan Line, and a scribe, a journalist, an objective journalist covering the football team for The Athletic and TheAthletic.com, assumedly for profit. We are here for 9 segments to analyze said product, and we will begin like this. Boys, what do you expect the rest of the journey? What do you expect the rest of the journey? And that there, by the way, is historical wherewithal with this.
Oh, don't do this.
Well, I got you.
What'd you just pull out of your pocket?
No,
was that out of your pocket?
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
We just revved them up. We have them cheering. We have them excited no matter what for their football team. You're going to hit them with this.
But these are takes for tots. We want you to be the smartest football fan at the lunch table and or in your covenant. So, for instance, when I say, where do they go from here? All right, they've lost 4 in a row. If they lose every game the rest of the way, that means it would be a Pasadena City College math gets me to a 9-game losing streak, which would be the longest in the history of Minnesota Vikings football.
It's not happening.
So now you look at the rest of the schedule, and you got the Washingtonians here this weekend.
then you go to Dallas, then you go to the Giants, then you come home on Christmas and you play the Motor City Kitties, and you close with the Green Bay Packers. So with Washington 3-9, losers of 7 consecutive games and like 1-6 on the road, this would seem to be the most winnable of the rest of the bunch. So what do you guys think about this weekend, and where do you think it goes from here? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And I still don't know where you pulled out that piece of paper. It was just like out of nowhere. You just pulled it out.
The same place my favorite team has attempted to pull out its most recent touchdown from my butt.
Yeah. I don't know how to follow that.
There's no way to.
Well, we've been wearing, respectively, the same jeans all week. So when he originally wrote those notes and put it in his back pocket, they were still there 3 days later.
Yes,
absolutely, yeah, it makes sense. The two, I think this game is definitely winnable comparatively to the New York Giants. Like, those are the two. The Giants in this game in particular, this one being at home. Mm-hmm. To lose again at home with the Lions and Packers looming at home, that would be quite difficult, and it would be quite unfortunate. I believe this year they're 1-4 at home.
Yes.
So the idea of going 1-7 at home would not bode well for anybody.
Yeah,
so.
that gets us to the next historical record of futility our favorite team is trying to avoid. And don't kill the messengers. We didn't put the team in this spot. We are just opining to a large crowd at Buffalo Wild Wings Savage, a lot larger than we thought it would be. Hey! So don't kill the messengers, all right? As young Alex said, the Minnesota Vikings are 1-4 at home. That is a 200 winning percentage. The 1967 bunch went 1-4-2 at home, 200 winning percentage. The 1962 Vikings went 1-5-1 at home, a 167 winning percentage. And the 2011 Minnesota Vikings went 1-7 at home, which is a 125 winning percentage. We're just trying to avoid historical futility here, boys, and good morning.
I think that's where you're looking to. Man, we need one at home. Man, the fans need one at home. Mm-hmm. Just 2 years ago, by the way, this would be...
all of you.
Just to win out would get them to 500. And so if they don't do that, this will be the 6th time in franchise history. 6th time in all those years that they've had a losing record at home.
I hadn't thought of it
and
that way.
We just have to look back 2 years. Remember when we were 2-6 in 2023? And Dobbs.
Dobbs.
As brutal as that was, I hate to say we need one. It's a 4-win team.
Well, now you got me excited.
Out of the mix, the whole thing.
We got to do the bit. Dobbs. You were saying?
We got to win at home. That's really just the end of it. It's a 4-win team, so saying you need one is kind of insane. But to the same, the historical part of what we've seen is just pure ugliness. So whether it's the coach, and I agree with him, the team feeling some success on the field, if for nothing else than just finding momentum into 2026. Like, I expect still like weirdness at the quarterback spot. Like, I still expect mistakes. I still expect some sort of uncontrolled chaos, specifically on the offense over the final 5. Just beat a freaking team at home, please.
My biggest thing for this game is just win the trenches on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, J.J. McCarthy, I have no idea. We'll see what happens without him focusing on mechanics and just letting it rip. And hopefully it looks phenomenal and he's at peace. The pressure's not on, all of that. But for him to be as good as he needs to be, just have the offensive line protect for him, block in the run game, and then defensively win the line of scrimmage against the Commanders' offensive line. Just do those things at the bare minimum in this game. Please.
Here is more historical futility our favorite team is hoping to avoid. Alec, you've covered Minnesota Vikings games home and road for several years now, save a barn burner in Cincinnati. But nevertheless, you know what you see, you know what you hear, stuff like that. The Minnesota Vikings in the turnover differential, pretty important, right, boys?
Yes.
Most important.
Most important outside of the final score. The old take-give game. The Minnesota Vikings are minus 15.
Crazy.
They've given it in the giving season 15 times more than they've taken it. That is the 3rd worst in the history of Minnesota Vikings football. The 2002 Minnesota Vikings were minus 18 in the take-give. The 2001 Minnesota Vikings were minus 21 in the take-give. If you go minus 7 in the take-give the rest of the way, it's the worst in the history of the franchise. And good morning.
Hey, good morning. And it's I don't want to say I don't want to be negative guy, but it's possible. Like, just that's the other thing. JJ McCarthy
possible.
JJ McCarthy talked about it yesterday. He's like, I just want to eliminate the turnovers and get the big conversation point in the building this week has been, let's do what we have to do not to lose the game to give ourselves the chance to win the game. And that's probably the classic coaching point at this, time of a season that goes like this. But it really does feel like that. Don't fumble the ball when DeMarcus Lawrence is tracking you down on the sideline. Don't throw the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's record here, I believe, is like 33-4 when they break even or win the turnover margin. It's that clear and cut of a statistic. So just give yourself the best chance by that, but I don't know how much faith I have in it.
Well, that's a tough thing. I mean, this team really over the last handful of years has been more unpredictable than you ghost breaking on Highway 13.
Hey.
Because so you look at it every other year, right? Like, let's go back to 2022. They were middle of the pack, like 17th, 18th in turnovers. So they were turning the ball over, but it was complimentary from the defense. 2023, unmitigated disaster. I think second most turnovers on offense in the league.
Nick Mullins.
Then last year, you're still 16th, 17th, 18th in turnovers, but the defense is complimenting, right? And now this year we're flipping that again. This team, over the last 4 or 5 years, has been undisciplined. They have given the ball away. That is part of their identity, sadly.
Yeah.
But the difference is in 22 and in 24, the defense was coming up with those takes. One of the things that we were super excited about with raising a kid QB on the fly is like, man, this defense with Flores, these are ball hawks. They generate these opportunities. It is by design and taking advantage of those opportunities. And sadly, whether it's not taking the ball away, still giving it away, not playing with the lead, unfortunately, that's kind of put us in a spot where we're talking about history again.
Yeah, and you can counterbalance some of the turnovers from throwing the ball down the field if you're generating explosives, which is the second most predictive stat to winning. Turnovers and explosive plays. So you can counterbalance a little bit. The problem with this season offensively has been you're giving the ball away, you're not generating explosives, and then you don't have the lead and your defense isn't creating turnover. It's just like the total ultimate recipe for how you get to 4-8 amid a season like this. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, again, in this game in particular, run the football, put J.J. McCarthy in positions to just let him air it out and rip it, and see where the chips fall. Like, I think this Commanders defense is one of the most gettable in the NFL. They've given up their 30th in explosive play rate allowed. They give up 8.7 yards per pass, the most in the NFL. If you can't move the ball in some capacity against this Commanders defense, it's going to be difficult. It's been difficult. Really don't want it to be difficult anymore because it's been hard.
Well, keep talking goalie to us like that. Holy cow, was that scintillating. Ladies and gentlemen, we have noticed the host,
goalie, Jesper Wallstedt?
The host of
Jesper.
Vikings Football Sunday, and also a stalwart on K102 has joined us here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know where he is now, but he's main man
Right
Muss.
back there, main man Muss.
I see you, Muss. What's going on, Muss? And if you hear him on the microphone, it probably would sound like, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next on stage one, Tequila, followed by Tanqueray, then her friend Lolita. All right, Muss, good to see you, brother. Alex,
need to go to the cash machine.
Alex Inclusion is provided by Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. Alec, when it comes to Steve's Appliances, what do you like about them?
It's a phenomenal operation. The people are spectacular. The thing that I always say about Steve's is they care about the community and serving you well when you go in there. You want a fingerprint resistant dishwasher, they've got it for you. You want a spectacular microwave oven, they've got it for you.
Amen.
Any type of appliance that you're looking for, you can find it. They will help you. Steve's it's a great operation, and I cannot thank them enough for their support throughout this season, which has required a lot of support.
Yes, it has.
Mr. Eric Nordquist, when it comes to Steve's Appliances and Steve'sAppliances.com, what do you happen to like about said company?
Well, outside of that, I mean, great people. They have all the bits, all the appliances. The delivery's unbelievable. Like, I'm getting a fridge and a range delivered next week. I got a new dishwasher coming. I've already received a washer and dryer from them from the laundry.
You're doing an appliance overhaul.
Well, it's been a year, but the fact is they're awesome people that actually follow through. Like, everything's just easy. That's the key for me. Ease of operation as a customer.
That's what you want. You want to take the cans out of the plays.
Yeah.
You want to just line up and remove the volume of the playbook. Just
so I
get
can
us,
play free.
Right,
just play free at home because of Steve.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
The footwork by Sarah and/or Brian throughout the 7,000 square foot Mounds View Steve's Appliances never requires technique refining. Never requires deep diving. It's perfect every single time.
Mechanically sound.
Their neurological pathways are dialed in to what they got to do.
Amen. Fast delivery, free recycling, guaranteed low prices. Steve's Appliances. Thank you very much. All right, in closing, anybody want a T-shirt? If you do, make some noise. Hey, this is the Friday Football Feast at Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. Alec Lewis, Nordo, yours truly, and Chad Greenway joining us around the corner at FM 100.3 KFAN. Good morning, y'all. Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. Chad Greenway, ladies and gentlemen. Chad Greenway. We're back at full strength. That's debatable, always were. Full strength Friday Football Feast at Buffalo Wild Wings Savage is in the air. And I say that because Nordo and I we were at Buffalo Wild Wings Mall of America on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Just Nordo and I, and Parker Fox stopped by, and he was really kind, and everybody had plans except for Nordo and I.
Really sorry I missed that one at the Mall of America, guys.
I understand.
Everybody with their families.
Same. It was
I love Bloomington this time of year.
Well, especially given your segment begins 9:15, 9:20. You ain't showing up at 7:15 to find a good spot.
Nope.
5-2 radio doesn't circumnavigate level 6 of anything looking for a parking spot.
No, my wife asked me often, do you want to go? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to go the other direction, somewhere west.
The week before, I do think PA was like, so you're going to meet us? And you were like, nah, I don't think I can make that one.
I'm absolutely booked.
We even tried to get these risers set up so for the first time ever we could look down on Chad, and he jumped on, and nothing's going our way.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's brilliant. All right, Chad Greenway and his appearance quasi-weekly, 9 to noon with the Friday Football Feast, courtesy of Grey Duck Spirits and Grey Duck Vodka. And I don't know if this was one of the more memorable games in your career, but when they were the Washington Redskins, the OG name, in one of the cooler games, of the games that I can remember in my run with the Minnesota Vikings, took place in 2010. When it was just, you think this season is bad? Holy cow, that 2010 thing. The way I like to frame it up, you can get it if you are so inclined. If Snapchat had been invented in 2010, the Vikings would have gone to the Super Bowl. We'll just leave it right there, as did somebody else. But Leslie Frazier took over as head coach. And it was a grinder of a season. You got Chad Nacho Lieber giving it every single thing they have, trying to find a way to win a game. And they finally won a game at FedEx against the Washington Redskins. Chad, Ben, and others hoisted Leslie Frazier up as the interim coach and walked him off the field. And Leslie was just, it's a crap season. He's trying to hold the job, which he would. That was a wonderful, wonderful moment, and good morning.
And good morning. Great to be back. That game was very special for a lot of reasons. Obviously, Leslie gets his first win. 2010 was an absolute mess. It should have its own 30 for 30. And then it's sad. It was depressing. It was long. And then we were supposed to suck for luck, but we didn't suck enough for luck.
Classic.
And we went and won out in Washington, and we didn't get Andrew Luck.
Yeah, 2011.
And
2011.
And away you go. So,
and I think Peterson messed up his ACL in the penultimate game of the season.
Absolutely.
FedEx.
Yeah. So I thought you were going to go with the Robert
Jamarca.
I thought you were going to go there on the double A gap blitz when we don't blitz.
But here's the deal.
You didn't.
After what you said about Jamarca Sanford's angle last year, I felt it should be a felony in 48 states, so I didn't want to bring it up again. But you did. Clearly it resonates.
Yeah, no, it hurts. But listen, is there a push to get it renamed the Redskins? I heard this. Is that a real thing or no?
I think it's more of a community effort, but
let's go to the Nordo desk for that.
But there's been vast agreement that they would prefer that over the Commanders or the weird WFT bit.
Yes, we should get UND, the Fighting Hawks, and the Commanders kind of in the same room. Just talk through that. Let's just go back to the names, the names that we all love and enjoy.
Commanders is terrible.
Yeah, why don't you just
Names
throw Cleveland baseball into it?
Cleveland baseball can get jumped in there, 100%.
And like as we go to break, what are you going to do? Bye! Into the Florida State Seminoles channel?
Absolutely. Yes. My goodness.
All right.
The last time you played them, though, whether it was 2010 and you just absolutely needed it, you sacked RG3, I believe, in 2014, the last time you played. Wow. The Redskins.
Well, when you're faster, more athletic than the quarterback, like I was in that case, then it's just simple. It's a simple game.
Go ahead.
But listen, it was fun. It's always fun to go into that stadium. Careful,
Sorry.
Careful. That ended my career. That hurts. Okay. When you go into that, obviously we're playing them here, but going there, that was always one of the most fun places to play because it's this kind of statuesque stadium. It's big. Obviously, a lot of history there. 92 some odd thousand people. I mean, it gets going there. It's crazy.
There's not obviously a lot of history there. I mean, because they played where before I moved to Southern California in '79, I lived in a part of Washington D.C. called Anacostia, and it was not only was it the murder capital of the USA at the time I lived there, but I lived right by RFK Stadium. All right, RFK Stadium.
That's the one with the history.
That's the one with that's the Redskins and Cowboys games and
FedEx.
Sorry, I didn't want to age you. I'd make you bring that up, but here we are.
FedEx is the one where the sewage pipes actually dump down onto the fans. I believe that was so simple mistake.
Simple mistake. This is you want to talk about how insane this is going to sound to everybody. When you go out and play the Redskins / Commanders, now you don't get the sweet police escort from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the stadium.
What do you mean?
Because it's not allowed there.
It's not?
Because you're too close to D.C. Something with the rules, and you can't get a police escort.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in traffic like everybody else, and it's just absolutely brutal. How could you do that?
I know.
Which is unfair.
The fact that you guys had to sit in traffic.
Oh, my gosh. Terrible. Yeah, wait in a line at airports. Do that now all the time. That's not fun.
Off that, Bursich tells an amazing story about when the Detroit Lions were moving from the Pontiac Silverdome to Ford Field, and he was coaching linebackers with the Vikings then, and it was either the last game of the season or whatever, but the Detroit PD or the Pontiac, those who lead the escort, they thought they had one. They're like, no, why should we do this? They're leaving this. It was just a disaster.
Well, I always actually felt bad in the times when the team was still in Eden Prairie at Winter Park, and I got to travel with the team doing preseason bits, a couple of road games, and you're on 494, and you got teams leaving at 5:30 p.m. 494, people trying just to get home.
Yeah, they just want to go home.
And it's a complete freaky parking lot as it is, and then boom, bus 5 rolls in.
Just rolls through.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, you have
I always felt bad about
police officers getting off his bike and just have his hand up, and all they want to do is get home and pour themselves a cocktail, get a Grey Duck in their body.
My goodness.
That's all they want.
It's absolutely.
And this certainly is no fault of the team because you know the likes of Paulie Wally Martin, Chad Lundeen, Chuck Peterson, Milan Burgess, the rest of that staff, second to none, and I mean that because of everything that's gone into Dublin and London, and then the Chargers. I mean, the operations staff for the Vikings.
It's been a lot.
They're fantastic at what they do. So they have no control over this. How do you think this would feel? So it's Seattle the last game, and they get shut out for the first time since 2007.
Yeah, I heard that.
In a game in which you played against the Green Bay Packers. Al Harris hits Adrian middle of the field. He gets a high ankle sprain, misses time. And everybody's ready to go. Buses 1, 2, 3, and 4 ready to go. Bus 5.
Uh-oh.
And
Unbelievable.
all of a sudden, Milan, I think, with operations, is like, everybody has to get off this bus, get all of your luggage, and find room on another bus. So I look at bus 6, and I'm like looking down the aisle, and I'm like, all right, let me see, where am I going to sit? Next to Taki Taimani, Darius, I mean, like 4 of the biggest people in the world, no armrest, no place to put your stuff. So that's
now if you win
4 and 8 problem.
If you win 27 to 13,
What the bus sound like again? It's like Police Academy over here.
sounds like an alternator. Yep.
Might have been.
Yeah, had to be.
But you know what? Vikings persevere. We got to the airport okay, navigated the moderate chop, and here we are for the Friday football feast at Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. So what do you think of this mess the team's gotten itself into?
I don't think a lot about it. It bothers me every day, actually. You know, it's just such a tough spot for an organization to now be in.
Yeah.
And we look at the leadership, the coach, obviously head coach and the GM who got us essentially to this spot, one way or the other, no matter how you want to look at it. You make this decision, Darnold McCarthy decision last offseason. If you say, hey, we're going to pay $100 million to Darnold and keep him here, right, it means that I can't draft and my draft pick's not ready.
Yeah.
If you go with JJ, the young kid we're all excited about, he comes in, does really well, we look really smart. If he struggles and we get a bunch of injuries in the offensive line, also we can't stop the run, all this stuff starts to happen, we're going to be where we're at, and that's where we are. So we are in a tough spot. Now, we're at the spot in the season, and I've been there, unfortunately, multiple times, this is a pride factor now. This is the factor of how much do you care about your job and how good you are at your job.
Preach.
Regardless of what your contract status is next year, I don't care how much money you have coming towards you next year or the situation. This is a pride factor. How much do you want it? Look back to that Detroit game 3 weeks ago when we rolled out and said, and we played football the way we were capable of playing football. And everybody left that game as a fan, as a player, and as an athlete, as a coach, said, that's how we're capable of playing. All we need as a fan base, all I need as a fan watching the game now as a former player is everything they got. And if they give me that, I don't care about the result necessarily because as a fan, I'm not changing my fandom next year. That's not changing. But I sure as heck want to be proud of the players that are going out there and how they represent an organization that we care about so much.
As part of that pride and just going to work, and now it's like I'm focused on my own tape. And we've talked about this a couple different times. Can there be real, and I know roster turnover is huge, and you think about this team with some of the contracts that you're peaking at, there will be change this winter. Can there be real measurable momentum, however, into 2026 if you do find some success and you do keep that hunger, at least to be productive on the field over this final stretch, playoffs or not?
No. I don't think that's the truth. I think
that's not a real thing.
I think that's a wish and a hope that we think of as fans. But it's such a distinguished difference when the roster turns over like 33% year to year. You just lose that momentum, especially in the positions we have now. Let's say the quarterback goes out and plays really well. Yeah. To me, that's momentum we can take and say, okay. Now what that's going to cause is an issue. To be frank, because all of a sudden, if he goes out and plays lights out these next 5 to 6, you're going to come back and say, okay, he's the guy. Right? He's proven over his last 5 to 6, he's the guy. We're going to stick with him. We're not going to get a secondary option. We're not going to go spend money on the vet. We can keep Jefferson and go down that route. Now you come back in week 1 next year, and who knows what we're going to get because you've seen so much up and down. So I think from a team perspective, I'd like to think there can be, but I think that's not real. But from an individual perspective of guys that we know we're going to have on our roster, from ours, it makes us feel better because we see and feel that guy. See the down, see the lows, see the highs, see him get better, see him gain momentum at the end of the year. I think that does matter on an individual basis.
The guy to the left of you, no matter what happens over the final 5, absolutely believes an aged veteran will be brought in next year. Yeah. And because of that, he's going on trial in the Covenant Court at 11 o'clock today. Nor knows the prosecutor, and I'm the judge. Make sure you listen to that at 11 o'clock. And however you put it with Jefferson, ain't nobody trading Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, if you were intimating that.
Well, good thing you're not the GM. So here's how we're going to do this.
Okay.
Listen. If you get to this spot, you're making decisions
he should
now.
Be on trial.
You're making decisions based off job security, and you're not thinking clearly as clearly as you should be. I think everybody in leadership, because this team was built to win this year with the roster we had, from a running back standpoint to a receiver standpoint, from an offensive line standpoint, and with a young kid that we knew would have some struggles.
They spent $344 million in cash.
The roster, the cash, the spend, the defense. So to me, to have this season be the way it is,
Preach.
if you're an owner, you have to look at my investment and say, I invested as much cash as people are asking me to invest.
Yeah.
We're not the Twins here, right? We're investing cash. We're trying to go down and win. All of a sudden,
Caught a twin stray.
right? Yep, had to catch a stray.
Even
so
Vicky and Mark
now
ripped
all of
the
a
poll
sudden,
ads.
Abbott texted me. So all of a sudden, right? You have this roster, and you're sitting here in the best division in football. When the Bears are turning around, the Lions are playing really good. The Packers are good. There's so much pressure to win and to win at that same level. I'm not saying there's going to be change. I'm saying there's pressure on those guys, and they know it, they feel it, and they're going to make decisions based off of that. That's what worries me.
Let me ask a very weird question, because you talk about playing for pride.
Preach.
At this point, is there part of you in the back of your mind that you're also guarding, like, I don't want to get hurt into the offseason in the sense that it carries over?
It depends on your position in life. It depends on your contract. So if you know you have guaranteed money coming back the next year, you need to go out and play really well, because you know that those dollars are coming to you. But you want to be healthy. You don't want to spend your entire offseason training, rehabbing a surgery, get an injury. Now, if all of a sudden you have a guy who's fighting for his contract, fighting for his NFL life, I can remember this in my own brain, because 2010 was coming up on contract year. I have to go out and play the best I can. And that didn't mean go out and make a million tackles, because when a GM watches film, he's looking at, did he do his job?
Assignment, yeah.
Did he do what he was supposed to? He had A-gap coverage, B-gap coverage. He had this in pass coverage. Is he doing his job, or is he going out of body trying to go make a play? So to me, you almost hyper-focus. You do become a little bit more selfish, but in turn, you have to become selfish at doing your job better. Now, again, as a pro, that's your job every week, and that's how I looked at it, and I felt like that. That's why I felt like I was pretty consistent.
And then you got that franchise tag.
Then I got that tag. I love the tag. Listen, I grew up on a farm, and all we did was owe the bank money.
The tag.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Stop lying.
All we did was owe the bank money.
Come on, boy.
Mom and Dad were just making payments on the combine and the tractor and everything else. So if you're going to tell me you're going to pay me $10.9 million for one season.
That's before taxes.
True. I'm not in South Dakota anymore. Back in 2010, you take it, because I'm like, I can live on that.
That seems pretty good.
You know how many tractors I can buy with 10.9?
A lot.
Not as many as I could then, but a lot.
A lot of tractors. No,
cattle prices right now, I can't buy that many cows right now either. It's crazy.
You talk about the pressure. I mean, I definitely feel like, especially specifically with 3 home games left.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose these 3 home games in front of your crowd, there's booing in there. Like, there's no question the emotions of that affect.
It's going to be the most passive-aggressive boo in the history.
Well, I'm hopeful that, like, on Christmas Day, there's not booing, right?
Well,
the spirit.
I can tell you from experience. I can tell you from experience. When you start off, it happened in my career when you start off slowly in a season when you have high expectations, and all of a sudden, an ownership group that resides in New Jersey is spending every day in the building.
Yeah.
Coaches coach differently. Coaches talk differently in meetings because the owner of the football team is sitting right there. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying things differently, you're coaching differently, you're bringing more energy, you're being maybe a little bit more aggressive in your coaching style, and all of a sudden, there's a little pucker effect on all of a sudden, I got to worry about my job. And do I do something drastic? Do I do something dramatic? Or do I just go, you know what, this is who I am, I'm going to keep doing my job the way I can? We're going to find out in the next few weeks.
I'm still wrapping my mind around that bad 2010 season, and you absolutely, with the ultimate in professionalism, giving everything you have. Granted, it has some I, not thy to it, but I understand. You got a family to think of and stuff like that. So therefore, you're playing for new money into 2011. After a season, you had 0 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions, 1 sack, and average 5 tackles per game. The Final 4.
My goodness.
I mean, what happened?
You just have to do your job, PA, and maybe in those 4 games, I just got to reside in my gap to make sure my buddy can make the play.
Great point.
And
100%.
the Vikings and Rick Spielman look at that and say, hey, this is a guy we want to build around.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
You know, and in a couple of years, we're going to draft our guy, number 7, Ponder, and we're going to have this team put together. We're going to have the captain on defense. We're going to have the captain on offense.
Now we call it Ponder Stray.
That was the look. That was the look ahead.
Yeah. So,
hey, you brought it up.
Today and this week alone, 9 to noon, this is what 4 and 8 radio does. We have caught We have caught a Minnesota Twins comparison related stray today.
Yes.
We just caught a Christian Ponder stray.
You mentioned Spurgeon Wynn a day or two ago.
Earlier in the week.
Will I be invited back next week?
We caught a Spurgeon Wynn stray from the 2001 season. But that's 4 and 8 radio. Don't kill the messengers. Chad Greenway, courtesy of Grey Duck Vodka and Grey Duck Spirits, for another segment. And we'll do that around the corner from Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. It's the Friday Football on KFAN. Well, sadly, from the Don't Kill the Messenger Covenant, as we mentioned earlier, the team in the history of Minnesota Vikings football, and it's a long and storied history, that has the worst record at home, was a team on which Chad Greenway played. The 2011 Minnesota Vikings went 1-7 at home. The current Vikings are 1-4. So don't kill the messenger, okay? Yeah, come on, man.
A season that opened up with a Percy Harvin kick return touchdown at San Diego.
You know what, PA? I'll see you in the parking lot after this.
Stop that, please.
But then Donovan McNabb had to throw the ball.
Hey, let me...
like Chuck Knobloch.
Let me...
the yips for real.
McNabb had the Knobloch. It was 100% yips.
With the reference to the Harvin touchdown, it always causes me to remember on that play, Iowa Hawkeyes kicker Nate Kading,
my guy,
ripped his ACL up and was lost for the season. At that time, he was one of the better kickers in the NFL. So we think Iowa, Hawkeyes football as a storied game changer for the Iowa Hawkeyes football program. Kirk Ferentz, Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator. I mean, Chad was good in the NFL. Chad was really good at Iowa. How does a devoted Hawkeyes football fan handle the Indiana Hoosiers all of a sudden being really good and like playing Ohio State for the Big Ten title tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a coach that made an impact immediately. I don't think I've ever seen in the history of me watching football somebody come in and change the dynamic of a program so dramatically. When we played in Indiana when I was in college, I mean, there might be 30,000 people tailgating, but there was 5,000 people watching the game. And they were mostly Hawkeyes. And we went over there and gave them their medicine and walked away and got our win. And to see what they're doing now is impressive. And, again, you see with the transfer portal, he has used that to his advantage and going to get the quarterback, the guy that really, really matters. And he's been playing amazing. But it's coaching, it's mentality,
well, he's not
it's
even
culture.
He's not even getting the 5-star guys. He's just pulling out of the portal like you're saying, man. It's crazy.
And I think you're getting the 4-star guys, the 3-star guys, the talented guys. He's getting the right guys
there it is.
For the positions that he needs in his system. And I think that's the most important thing. Young Greenway, daughter, took a visit to Indiana, went over there and saw their facilities. Like the money they're pouring into college football in Indiana is following the success they're having.
Holy cow.
If Signetti
basketball school be damned.
It's crazy. If you've ever been to Bloomington, it's beautiful. Campus is incredible.
Awesome.
So there's a place that people want to go. You're more Middle America, not as cold as Iowa or Minnesota. A lot of good things. I think he can sustain it. The reality is there's going to be enough money to go compete with Ohio State and all these guys that have the bankroll. So it'll be interesting to see. But it's fun to see.
I asked.
I do like it. Isn't it good though for football to see somebody new and fresh in there? And if you're cheering for Ohio State, you're just absolute an L. I can't deal with you. We can't be friends anymore.
The crazy thing about that coach is it's somebody new, but he's like 65 years old.
I don't think I've seen somebody more confident in his own abilities than that guy.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, the stuff he said, and this, by the way, just backed up every point of it.
That's it.
Say something now.
And that's my thing always with that. It's like you can talk. If you're performing like that, it's totally okay.
I hope he runs his mouth more now because, look at me now. What are you going to do? So he's the opposite of Kirk Ferentz. He doesn't say anything, gives everybody else credit.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to see him say, I'm going to say it. Oh, by the way, come into Bloomington and get a win. Yeah. Nice try. It's going to be interesting to see how Indiana fans travel compared to Ohio State.
Well, it's kind of one of those things, too, where I can't really hate Indiana. Like, if out of nowhere Rutgers becomes a force, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it would
that's
be
irritating. If Nebraska jumps up and is truly a top 5 juggernaut.
They still have a football team in Nebraska?
It's hard to say. But
I haven't been paying attention too much.
That would be infuriating. But like, there's something about Bloomington. Like, Illinois would kind of frustrate me. But there's something that's like Indiana's just a cute little thing that is becoming an absolute workhorse.
Yeah, and I think in the new Big Ten, right, this new era of USC and the L's that are coming from the West Coast that are just going to be behemoths as we kind of get into this recruiting world. And all of a sudden, you have a team from the Midwest named Minnesota or Iowa trying to go get a kid from L.A. to go compete and recruiting with USC. Like, good luck with that one. Because it's beautiful here in January. I mean, no, this is December, but it gets way better in January, so you'll be fine.
How about with the current Vikings? Blake Cashman. All right. So during the 4-game losing streak, Blake Cashman is such a stud, not only on the field, but the way he prepares for games. I've just gotten to know Blake a little more this year because of the buses that we ride to the stadium and stuff. And I'll ask him about certain situations, and he's just so on point and detailed.
Sharp. No
matter what's happening, whether you're winning a lot or losing a lot. But during the 4-game losing streak, he's averaging 13 tackles a game. In the L at Green Bay, again, things are going pear-shaped. You know, he and Emmanuel Wilson meet at the goal line in just a big-time violent collision, which means Blake's going 10-10. Emmanuel, of course, is. He's on a team with a winning record. I've always respected Blake, but playing for the Jets and Texans, didn't really follow him that closely. And he's battled injuries during his career. Blake Cashman's fantastic.
He's fantastic, and he's one of those guys that he's a playmaker, but because he's always in the right spot, making the tackle, he's not ever getting what I would say bad press. Mm-hmm. He's not out in coverage and he just looks lost. He's not in the run game and misses a bad tackle. Like, he's so solid. And I always think about my career, your best ability in the NFL is availability, and that's where he's struggled. But when he's healthy, he is who he is every game. His up and down is very shallow. He's very consistent, and you know what you're going to get. And to me, as a fan, as a GM, as a coach, you want a guy, he's a leader, he's a worker, he's a grinder, and you know what you're going to get every game. And to me, those are guys you build around.
The other thing with him is, like, in coverage and play. I mean, it's
better than you think.
He's rock solid in space. And they obviously play a defense where you have to be.
Yep.
And then stopping the run, to your point, he's always in position. And I really feel like that group with Eric Wilson and Blake Cashman, without that group being what they've been this year, I don't know what this defense looks like.
Great point.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, Eric Wilson and what he's done from a pass rush standpoint, it's been massive.
I'm not sure what his contract situation is, but that's a guy you bring back from a veteran standpoint that can plug holes or be a starter for you for a full season, and he's earned it. And he's a team leader. He's the dude. I mean, he's the guy you build around. Now all of a sudden you can keep a veteran, pay him maybe less than you would, go draft something else, bolster your offensive line. Whatever we're going to look for in the offseason is going to be interesting. One thing is for sure is our offseason is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious on how we as a team, I think you're gonna see how KOC, how he is impacted this locker room these next 5. The type of team that rolls out it's indicative of the respect they have for their head football coach and their position coaches.
Yeah.
And I think that matters.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because the feast that you guys were with family and stuff like that, one of the big themes Nordo and I had is with what's happening now and what just happened at Green Bay. These are human nature games, because human nature gets to win too. And, you know, I called on, I can't remember if you were on the team or not, but like Lovie Smith brought a Bears team in week 17 or week 18. They had a bunch of L's. And the Vikings were going to the playoffs. Oli Udoh played right tackle. Okay, so they were sitting their better players. Well, for whatever the reason, Lovie Smith decided, you know what? I'm going to draw a line in the sand here, man. Khalil Mack, all of you're all playing in this game. Well, Khalil Mack had a very box score wise, nondescript game. So therefore, the offseason talker was, whoa. Oli Udoh shut down Khalil Mack. What do we have? What do we have in Oli Udoh? But then you watch it back, and off what you're saying, Khalil Mack did everything possible to make sure he looked like he was going 10 of 10. But the last thing he wanted was to deal with off-season ACL rehab or some form of rehab to ruin the offseason. That's the human nature component of what you just said is with these next 5. Who's in? Who's out?
Yeah, those guys are looking at their banking accounts and saying, I'm probably okay to sit this one out. I'll just play this cut block a little safe. I don't really need another sack. I'm probably just going to, hay's in the barn. Let's get ready for next year. So it's a human nature game, but also it's a reflection of your coaching staff and the respect you have for those guys and how bad you really want it. Yeah. Even those guys are getting paid a lot of money because everybody in that building at this point is looking over their shoulder saying, in the NFL, if you don't win, you lose your job. And in this situation with this team, as good as we could have been talent-wise, I think there's some of that going on. Is now how do those players go out there and reflect that?
Well, Alec, you watch back all plays from every game, whether it's 4 and 8 radio or it's 15-1 radio.
Yeah.
And like Justin Jefferson with some of these shots people catch on the sideline, not talking to the media after which is a rarity for him after the Seattle game. Some comments that he's made about frustration and guys, I'm saying the same thing every single week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy people have not taken that on social media and blown it up.
Right.
Because when I watch him back, and you watch more of it back than me, man, Jefferson's running every single route as hard as he possibly can. If there's a run play, like against the Bears, he's getting the safety, the corner, the linebacker as well as he ever has to help somebody else into the end zone. That's the identity of the team. And when your most identifiable piece is going 10 of 10,
it matters.
That matters.
It matters a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just blame John Ekstrom for that, the PR snafu on the after game. We might as well throw Ekstrom under the bus, catch a stray.
Right.
I love you, John.
Right.
Hey, so can we end on a positive? I'm not sure how much time we have, but I want to at least talk about this positive.
Yeah.
You guys remember Jim Kleinsoffer?
Yeah.
Maybe one of the best Vikings in history.
Yeah.
Can we hear about
Hey,
Jimmy Kleinsoffer, Jimmy K.
Carrington, North Dakota, go crazy.
So my one of my great examples of which is how to do pro football the right way, Jimmy K, is now in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
As a UND Fighting Sioux, now Fighting Hawk. So congrats to Jimmy K. He is the best. He's on my all-time top 5 freak list of guys. He would show up with the biggest upper and lower dip in the life. Like you couldn't fit more.
Copenhagen on the top, Kodiak
I don't know
on the
what
bottom.
it was, but it was unbelievable. With a giant cup of coffee and will be lifting insurmountable weight off his body.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I'm like, I'm supposed to get off a block from this guy. That's how this is supposed to work.
Who are some of the other freaks? If that's top 5.
Steve Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Chad.
Nice.
I'm going to go with, just because I've never heard a football get thrown like this, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
The arm strength.
Had a whistle on it.
You know those Nerf balls that they whistle to make you feel good, like you have a cannon, but you're really like in your mid-40s and you don't?
Whee!
He made an NFL football, and if you guys have held an NFL football before, they are hard to throw. They're big. They're really inflated.
Yeah.
You could hear that thing.
And
it was unreal.
We can say this because we both know Sean Hill and like him a lot.
Hank.
And if Hank Hill were here, he would laugh at this one-liner. The difference between the way Brett Favre threw a pass and Sean Hill, well, every pitching staff needs a fastball thrower and somebody who throws a good changeup.
Old knuckler.
And a knuckleball. We'll just leave it like that. Anything with Grey Duck Spears we need to know
Nothing
about?
new. Holiday season was incredible. Minnesotans, as usual, support Grey Duck thick and thin. So
awesome.
I will be at St. Louis Park, top 10, signing bottles. Come see me.
That's today?
That's today, right now. I'm going there right now.
Where is it?
Top 10 liquor in St. Louis Park.
Got it.
I'll be there through the snow.
Chad Greenway, ladies and gentlemen, 5-2 radio. He's the bomb. Into the middle portion of the program, we have a fantasy football segment around the corner. We also have a benefactor who has popped up out of nowhere and given us a beautiful charitable tie to our fantasy football segment called IHOP. I'll learn what all that means and tight ends you definitely want to use this week when 9 to noon continues from Buffalo Wild Wings Savage. This is the Savage Football Feast on KFAN.